Hi everybody, I'm Mark.
And I'm Paul.
I'm Vale.
I'm Peter.
And this is the Picture This project, and today we wanted to get a different perspective, and we wanted to talk to people about their thoughts on photography, how they got into it, and not just us two old boys. So
Yes, it's good to have somebody younger than us in the podcast.
So let's start off with, of course, first question. We'll start with you, Val, about what was your earliest sort of way of getting into photography? Where did it begin from, this interest?
Yeah, so I got into photography because of my father. That's where I got this passion from, and I'm really blessed because of it. So I grew up with the camera in my hands and surrounded by like my father always taking photos and videos of us. So yeah,
Italy?
In Italy. Yeah, I'm from Italy. And yeah, so that's why I got into photography, and because of my father, yeah.
What about you, Peter?
I remember one of the first encounters with photography was, as a kid, I remember there was this hanging calendar in my parents' bedroom. And it was this famous Czech photographer who would take these studio photos of different people, sometimes famous people as well. And I remember I would always stare at that calendar and imagining it, how it was in the photo shoot. And sort of that was my first real contact with like a more like fine art photography, I'd say. And yeah, but other than that, it was really just point and shoot cameras in our family, you know, like when you're on the holidays and taking memories. But yeah, this would be like a first proper one. Yeah.
The point and clickers.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so I was going to say, for me, and I'll just say, I got into photography because, and I may have mentioned it before, I do repeat myself, but I remember I got National Geographic when I was really young. And what I always thought was really interesting, and I think this about how it wasn't these photos in National Geographic that I liked them, but what really made me interested was the fact that the person had to get to that place, like the Arctic fox or in the Serengeti. I always was amazed that someone had to go out there and get to that place, and I think that drew me into, it didn't even draw me into necessarily thinking about being a photographer, but it certainly drew me into this idea that photography was a pathway to give me a reason to go to places. I always thought that was one of my big draw cards. So I have another question, but you might want to throw one in.
Well, I think my first thing in photography was I saw a picture of a guy on the cover of Time magazine or Life magazine, I can't remember which one, but he had a camera and it was a Leica, and he had the lens as this side and he had a viewfinder for this side.
You've got to pull that one up.
Yeah, we'll put that up there.
And the Arctic one, yeah.
Yep. And I saw it and I went, oh my God, he looks like a robot. They made him look like a robot. And I was probably 10 at the time, and robots were really cool. So I thought about, photography can be used to do things like that. And I got really interested in it. And my dad gave me a camera when I was about 14, his camera. And actually, you own that camera now. It was an SRT 101 Minolta, a film camera. Great camera. But, and that's what kind of pulled me in, is that image. And it was an amazing image. So, yeah.
Interesting thing. Do you know where the word robot come from?
No.
It was invented by a Czech writer, Karel Čapek, and so the world owes him the word robot.
Okay, yeah. I like that segue into that. Okay, so now that we know about robots, the next question is, what was your first kind of ventures into photography? Not so much the point and shoot, but where you actually thought about what you were trying to get a certain type of image.
What do you mean?
Well, like a project almost, like
okay, yeah,
photo
yeah.
project when you
Okay.
first went, I want to take photos
I got
of
it.
something in particular.
Yeah, so I got my first camera when I was 12. My parents gave it to me as a Christmas gift, and I still remember that morning, like opening the box, and for the first time I found like really excited about something, because I started straight away taking photos of my brother, my sister, and everyone that day. And then I remember taking the camera everywhere with me, especially during school trips, taking photos of the people, my friends, and the teachers, and everyone else. And then, yeah, when I started traveling, when I was around 16 years old, I realized that was probably the first and the best thing to take with me was my camera. So many times I had no space in my backpack, but I always said to myself, I'd rather leave some clothes home than my camera. So it was like the first thing to put in my backpack was my camera, and I've been traveling the world with my camera since then. Yeah, so probably being able to capture like moments and yeah.
I remember when I was going to my Africa jaunts to do the wildlife, basically I had a change of undies, and that was my change of undies. A t-shirt, that'll do.
Yeah.
And the camera gear, lenses.
Yeah, so priorities.
What about you?
Life.
When I'm thinking about it, I think the first time when I wanted to take photography seriously was when I was deciding what university I will apply to. I ended up in biological studies, but before then I was actually considering going to study photography. And this one is a bit related to wildlife photography, because I had this book about wildlife photography, and I was fascinated by being outdoors and sort of like a hunter, but with a camera, you know.
Yeah.
But the only camera I had that time was this point and shoot regular camera. And I remember one winter I decided I will stalk some deers in the forest, and I actually saw some deers, and I was starting to crawl towards them, you know, with my point and shoot camera with a digital zoom. And just for the feeling being there, watching them and lying on the ground in cold, still I couldn't get any shots, obviously, because I didn't have an 800mm. I had a point and shoot camera, you know, and when they saw me, they disappeared quickly. But just for the moment, like being there, it was something irreplaceable, you know. Yeah. So I didn't decide to go to school to study that, but still, I think that was one of the first moments when I thought, that's really something, you know, not just like taking photos, but also experiencing everything around that, you know. Yeah.
And does that hold you today, that same feeling? I reckon you can hear me. Does that hold you today, that same feeling?
I would say definitely so, because it's not only the photographs or the final outcome I enjoy, it's the whole process of making it, you know, and that sort of flow state you get yourself into when you're taking photographs that are really powerful, you know, and that's the difference, like, between taking just a photographs or you taking photographs that actually have an impact on you and others, you know. Yeah.
Do I ask the question?
You want to ask a question?
So my question today, no, I'm kidding.
Well, my first project was, I was about 13.
It's just
14.
not about you, Paul.
It's usually about me.
Bring on some guests.
14.
He's just bloody talking about himself again. Oh.
My,
Anyway,
grandma-
your first project.
my grandmother had a handwritten recipe book. And I went and shot in the garden the vegetables, and she put my photos in her recipe book. So it made me feel really good that she appreciated my photos enough to put them in the recipe book. And so, it became a passion of mine to do photography.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one more thing.
All right, take the mic.
I've actually remembered my very, very first encounter with photography, and that was when I was 8 years old. My brother was just being born, and our mother just decided that she wants to take a photo of us as brothers. So I was supposed to hold my brother on my lap. Obviously, we were both naked for this shoot for some reason.
As you do.
Doing check.
And it was one of those, you know, like artistic photos, family photos. And The reason why I remember it is that my brother sort of peed on me when I was holding him during taking photos.
Yep.
So the final photo ended up with me having this weird expression, I'm being peed on, and my brother totally like having no clue what's going on. So I would say that was my very first encounter with photography.
It keeps going down these really interesting little sideways, you know, robots.
There's just things popping up in my head now, you know.
That's how it works.
That's where
here.
it works, yeah.
Okay, inspirations. Have you got any that you were inspired by yourself? Inspirations in photography that you saw out there that particularly, or even today?
You can go first.
Do you have anything? I was always inspired just to get the ball rolling was National Geo. So that was always my inspiration. I didn't really.
Start with yours.
That's it. I've just done it. Okay, that's National Geo. National Geo, old school, not the new one.
Like, you know, names of
Nice.
photographers. You know, if you would have to pick one or two.
That doesn't have
Maybe
to.
photos, you know.
Photos,
Okay.
yeah. Like I was always a photo that stood out. We did this recently. Talked about the photos.
Girl.
The Afghan girl stands out for you, does it?
That's what I thought about when you said National Geo. So
Yeah.
Well, can you remember the photographer?
Steve McCurry.
Yeah, that's probably my inspiration. Yeah.
Steve McCurry?
Yeah, I'm planning to go to India for like a trip, and yeah, he's gonna be my inspiration for my photography trip. Yeah.
I think for me, Segaldo, who we recently lost,
Yes.
was a great, incredible photographer. So Sebastian Segaldo was a bit of a, he was quite inspiring, his work. And his last piece in the Amazonia
Yep.
was fantastic, you know. And I love the fact that he was right to the very end. He was constantly still working, exploring his photography, that journey that it takes you on.
Yeah.
And so I always thought his work was very inspirational. You got one?
When you mentioned Salgado, I was thinking the reason why I also like his work is that there was always this sort of political or environmental narrative, which I really appreciated because,
Yes, I agree.
as we all know, like photography can also have this strong impact on societies and can change a lot of things just by documenting stuff you see and what's going on in the world, you know.
I think that's where I want to now. Thank you. That's where I now want to kind of veer
Yeah.
off on
Can
a
I
segue
also-
that you go ahead. Go
Can I
ahead.
add something else?
Please
I
do.
want also to talk about Vivian Miller. Maya?
Yeah.
Vivian Maya?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we talk about inspiration, most of the time we go towards male world. We talk about more males photographers, and she's one of my inspirations because she's like a street photographer, and most of her creations are self-portraits, a lot of reflection in mirrors and stuff, and that's really connected to my photography style. So she's also a good inspiration. Yeah.
Yes, she was quite the person because she did not share her photographs when she was alive. She only shared them after she passed. I would say that one of my inspirations is Sally Mann. Her images are haunting almost. And yes, you're right. People pick the male photographers, but we've had some really great female photographers over the years.
Well, we talked about
Diane Arbus.
Diane Arbus and
Yeah.
Dorothea Lange were two
Dorothea
that we've
Lange,
just
yeah.
recently
Yeah.
talked about. So
Definitely.
Wasn't her work like discovered by the guy who bought like boxes and boxes of
Boxes,
random
yeah.
undeveloped film rolls, and then there was all her work, you know?
He bought boxes of her negatives and a whole bunch of film rolls that hadn't been developed yet, I believe. It's kind of amazing.
There's this great documentary about her and this guy who actually bought these boxes.
Yep.
And interesting fact, what I liked was that she was actually a nanny
Yep.
for a big part of her life, and a lot of these photos she took as a nanny, you know, like taking photographs of the kids she looked after or
Yep.
just being in the streets. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd just, at this point, look into where we're going, photographically speaking. So, and your thoughts on that. So we've, obviously as an industry, a lot of us are seeing how AI is coming into play into the world of photography. You guys are both sort of old enough that you predate this. You predate all the sort of AI technology. Both of you have shot film, so you've experienced shooting with film. But we're now moving into this place, and so Paul and I have discussed AI, and I feel it's really important to get everyone's, on this kind of topic, to get everyone's thoughts, what they feel it's happening with this world of photography and where it's potentially going. So you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had this discussion before with some people, because when I said I'm studying photography, most of them were like, but the world is like changing, we're getting AI, new technologies, and you can create photos using AI. But from my point of view, just like everything else in life, there's two sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. So it can be helpful on one side, especially for the post-production. It can like make things faster. But AI, I think, can never replace the human creativity, the human emotion and feelings, that the storytelling behind the photo. Of course, I can open AI, I can tell the program to create a landscape with trees and horses and flowers. And of course I get a picture, but it's never going to be the point of view of the photographer. There's never going to be the feeling of getting there, taking the photo with the light you want and stuff. So you can post-product it, you can edit it using AI, but it will never be something coming from a human, just like old statues where...
And you feel confident
Yes.
about the future?
Yeah, it's a bit scary because, of course, we see videos and photos created by AI, and especially people from older generation cannot see the difference. Because I can mention, for example, my grandma, sometimes she doesn't see the difference between AI generated or not. So that's something we should talk about, especially on social media, where we believe anything. But yeah, a part of me is still positive, and I hope that it will never destroy our creativity. So yeah, I'm pretty positive. I try.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you the voice of doom, or are you going to keep doomed, it's ruined.
We're
No hope.
doomed.
I definitely agree with the fact that it is a double-edged sword, and it has positives, it has negatives. When this whole thing with AI started, and we saw this rise of AI, I was definitely very skeptical. I thought like, this is it. This is the end of an era, And but over time, when I thought about it more, I thought, and we're getting to the same point pretty much, that there's something about humans that is just untouchable. There's this human touch, and that's something that AI can't replace. Also because AI is just averaging everything that it learned from humans, pretty much.
Yeah.
So by that formula, it just can't be better than humans, And I know I wanted to say something else, but I just forgot. So.
All right, Paul? Give
Well,
us your AI thoughts.
I think that AI is really good at some things and really terrible at others. If you want something that looks like everybody else's photos or images, it's good at that. It will copy the style that's prominent in society. And if you want that, it probably will give that to you. But if you want to do something that's not the average photo, you want to do some art, it can't do that because it only deals with averages. It's the beige middle of everything. It's suburbia, basically.
I mean, it will replace some jobs for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially if you do that kind of a generic style of photography, like the photo banks and stuff that can be easily generated these days. So, and it's the same with other fields like music,
Yeah.
But if you do stuff like fine art or something very specific, I don't think they can be replaced ever with AI.
Oh.
I like the Rick Rubin, the music producer, and I liked how he said that, what it makes the piece of art or the music interesting is it's come from an artist's perspective, whatever their journey was, whether they were going through mental anguish when they wrote that, or they were, in a positive space, negative, their perspective that they bring, or the photographer brings, or whoever. Yeah, AI is a bunch of averages. And that's its place. I love this line that AI can only ever be an echo of humanity, because it just copies everything that we've done. And you're right. I thought, as you said, it can only copy what we've produced. It can now make new things, but it's making it as averages.
Yeah.
And it's taking everything that was somehow it's read. So I think there'll be jobs. So you make a cheap product, cheap microphones or something, and you want to use AI models because you have a small company, those kind of jobs are going to go, right? But the purer forms of photography, I think, and creative expression, you've got weddings, you've got portraiture, you're still going to need us. I feel like there's still a very valid place for us in the world.
Yeah, I think that the indexality of photography, the idea that it actually comes from a thing, it's a reflection of light off an actual thing, means a lot. When somebody's gone there and got that shot in real life, it means more than just making stuff up.
Yeah, there's something irreplaceable about the whole creative work you do, Like, you do the whole photo shoot, you have these experiences, you connect with people, It's very different from when you make an AI photo and it's completely empty.
Yeah.
You're gonna call it whatever masterpiece it is, but and other people might notice as well, that it's empty in terms of these things. Yeah. And it's with the stuff you do as a human, I believe that those levels that happen during the creative process, they can be visible in invisible,
Yeah.
So I feel like we're going to just get a short little interview. So because I'm bored of you, Peter, already, and no, kidding. We'd sit here and talk to you for hours, mate. But I thought we'd end.
We don't have that much time with you.
No, I know. Yeah. I know. No one does. I thought we'd just wrap up now with a last thought on, we've talked a bit about AI, but just a last passing thought on the world of photography. Last thought.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that when Paul mentioned the thing about light, I got goosebumps, because to me photography is kind of magic, and it always been. Somehow I cannot still describe how we can stop the time, stop a magic moment, and turn it into something we can see forever.
Yeah.
And it always be
Slice.
something people can see in the future as well.
Yeah.
There's so many times, for example, I go to Up Shop or I go to old art galleries, and I just find photos, film photos of people I don't even know who they are and what they're doing and where they are and if they're still alive, if I don't know. But I'm like, whoa, someone captured that moment and I'm looking at it now, So to be able to create something that is a photo, for me, it's like magic. So thanks.
That's a very good positive.
Yes.
Peter, can you match that?
What was the question?
So the question is, do you remember?
If I would have to leave you with some final words about photography, I would say I personally look at the photography the way I look at any other art forms. For me, it is a necessity. It is for me it's a way of survival in this life, because it enriches you in such a big way that I cannot imagine life without any art, and that includes photography as well,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's photography is kind of the alchemy of light, and when we do it well, it has a reward in the actual doing, the process of it, right? When you go and do something and you have a process that delivers something at the end in photography, that it has more meaning than sitting at a desk and typing into a chat GPT to get something out. It enriches your life more than you could expect from something so mundane as taking a photo.
Yeah.
And for me, I'll end on, it gave me permission.
Yep.
Photography gave me permission to climb a tree, go to the edge of a cliff, do something ridiculous that no one else, because I've got permission. Both, I think. I think I could use both.
Permission
of those.
and
Excuse
issues.
And, yeah, well, apparently I'm a liability, so.
Yeah.
But that gave me permission to
Yep.
go that little bit further, to push a little bit more. That was the kind of photography that I was always fascinated by, because it seems to allow you to do things. And so sitting there prompting something is not really doing that. It can't. It will never give me that sense of adventure that I always felt photography could give to me. So
Yeah.
I feel we've ended on a positive note here with there's hope. There's hope. All right. So thank you both.
Thanks.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
I want to add one more thing.
Yes.
I want to say that photography allowed me to express myself. And sometimes I have visions. I see things that other people cannot see. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a photo and share it with people that can see it. You know? So it's like sometimes people think I'm crazy, and I can be, but I have other crazies around me that can understand.
Takes one
my
to know
vision.
one, as we say.
So I'm really happy to be here with you.
I
Okay.
just have one more thing.
Yes. We're on a roll now.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, especially with film photography, it makes me a better observer, which is something that photography taught me. That I really pay attention to more stuff around me, and that keeps me more present in this moment, rather than going away in my thoughts. So it is sort of like a bit of meditation,
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Very cool. Okay, well, thanks everyone, and check you next time. That's another one from us from the Picture This project.
See you guys.
See ya. Out of here.
Out of here.
Cut.
Cut.
What's wrong with you?
That's going.
I tend to make a lot of jokes when I'm nervous,
Is that all right? Okay.
See my dates.
Oh, they must be terrified.
Do you bring a
Who the fuck is
microphone?
this guy? What's he doing?